Hi folks, thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. Many QRP enthusiasts despise large contests. According to these folks, during contests, the big bands like 80, 40, and 20 meters get stuffed full of inconsiderate operators who trample net frequencies and disregard standard band allocations. With all the mayhem happening on the bands, the thinking is to retreat to the WARC bands or just stay off the radio during those times. While it's true some operators behave poorly and that the bands become clogged with powerful signals, I have a different take on these large events that transform our peaceful, orderly bands into audio chaos. As a QRP operator, here is why I love big contests. Contests bring out masses of people who are very motivated to make contacts with as many stations as they can within the contest period. Since the bands are full of stations wanting to make contacts during a contest, your chances of making contacts at these times are actually quite good. Additionally, contest exchanges are short in duration. You might need more power than QRP to rag chew on a busy band, but getting a short exchange across is very doable with 5 watts. I've told you the why, now let's delve into the how. I've got 4 tips to help you succeed in making QRP contacts during contests. Follow these tips and you will get the most out of your contest experience. It's important to set the proper mental expectation. You need to realize that you are going to make fewer contacts running QRP than if you were to run 100 watts. Although the standard QRP power level of 5 watts is 1/20th the power of the 100 watt stations you are competing with, the good news is that your QRP signal is only 2 S units down from those 100 watt stations which are running similar antenna systems. Nevertheless, during a major contest, those 2 S units are a big deal. Due to the crowded band conditions, a signal that is 2 S units down from a 100 watt station might not be heard at the receiving end. You're competing not only with other stations responding to the calling station, but also with the splatter produced by stations on nearby frequencies. Ready to throw in the towel yet? Don't. If you go in with the mindset that making contacts is going to be a challenge, then each individual contact will give you more satisfaction. A contest becomes less like shooting fish in a barrel and more of a chance to enjoy the hunt for new contacts. In order to be heard during a contest, where many different stations are calling the same station you are, you will need to consistently present a signal to the receiving station that is 8 or 9 S units. So how do you do that with a QRP station? The answer is simple, but many hams don't want to hear it. You must have a good antenna, deployed up as high as you can get it. A good antenna system often negates the need for more RF power. A QRP station using a good antenna can definitely compete with 100 watt stations employing poor to fair antennas. There are a whole bunch of 100 watt stations using compromise antennas on the air every contest. So how do you choose a good antenna? Avoid antennas that are physically shorter than a half wave for whatever band you wish to work. Any antenna that is a compromise in physical size or deployment height is also a compromise where performance is concerned. Trying to operate QRP with an antenna that requires loading coils is going to handicap you more than your low RF power output will. Small tripod-mounted collapsible portable antennas are out of the equation for this application. While being high in the cool factor, in my estimation, that type of antenna is best suited for operators running higher than QRP power levels in non-contest environments. These antennas have 2 strikes against them, as they are physically smaller than a half wave, and they are too close to the ground. Yes, you can make contacts with them, but only a fraction of what you can make with a full-sized antenna. You really want an antenna that is a full half wave for whatever band you want to work. For example, if you want to work 40 meters, make sure the antenna is 66 feet long. If you are using a multi-band antenna like a Windom or off-center fed dipole, the antenna should be a half wave long on the lowest band you will be operating on. Get the antenna up as high and in the clear as you can. You will get best results by putting the antenna at least a half wavelength above ground. Just get it up as high as you can. If you simply can't erect a full half-wave antenna at home, do what I do and get out into the field where you can set up a good antenna for a few hours of fun. Depending upon propagation, you may need to make a strategic decision as to where to focus your efforts from a band perspective. If the contest is a major DX contest, 20 meters can be very difficult to work on. Since antenna size is reasonable and the possibility for long-distance communications is good, 20 meters is generally the focal point of the contest for high-powered stations. 20 can easily end up being choked with powerful stations from one band edge to the other. As an alternative, if 15 meters is open, spending more time there than on 20 could net you more contacts in less time with less frustration. Of course, the same is true for 10 meters, though there are times when 10 is not open, but 15 is. Now that you've got a good antenna, here is my killer tip for operating QRP in major contests. If you only have a few hours to operate in a contest on a given weekend, don't plan on operating on the first day of the contest. Instead, wait until the morning or afternoon of the second day. The logic behind this approach is twofold. The big players will have worked all the other big stations within the first day. By the time the second day rolls around, they will have worked all the easy stations and become desperate to work anyone else in order to boost their numbers. They will try harder to pull a station out of the noise to get another precious contact to add to their total. You also get the burnout effect working to your advantage. Many stations will work late Saturday night and into the wee hours of Sunday morning. This leaves a significant portion of them too tired to continue. Thus the bands empty out a bit on the second day. The quieter bands give you a better chance of being heard. I've made many terrific QRP contacts by taking advantage of this tactic. To summarize, if you follow the guidelines I've laid out here, you'll discover that contest weekends are actually gold mines of challenging and rewarding activity for QRP operating. Okay, now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 73 from Tracy, VE3 TWM.